What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today's we are going to give my opinions. I know you all love when people give their hockey opinions. So today we are going to rank all 31 NHL teams, but it's not going to be in terms of how they do, how good they are, because there's NHL standings for that. That's what the season, that's what the league is for. In this video, we're going to rank them based on just how much I like the teams. Give you my thoughts. A lot of you are gonna hate me for this, a lot of you are gonna love me for this, but remember, they're just opinions, literally worth nothing, okay? But I'm gonna go through mine, then I want you to go through yours. I'll leave the link to this tier maker in the description so you guys can make your own tiers, and then maybe send them to me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, wherever. All the links you need are in the description, and I'll shout a few out. All right, without further ado, let's get into it here. So you can see the tiers I've kind of customized these tiers. So we got the favorite tier, really like, they're cool, meh, dislike, hate, and despise, the lowest of the low. So I'd say I'm mostly a fan of the NHL more than I am a fan of one particular team. I have a few favorites, but I follow the entire league, so I should be able to support my opinions here. But let's see. All right, so I think we'll just go in alphabetical order, honestly. We'll go with the Anaheim Ducks. Now, I am a Hawks fan, so the rivalries in the past few years have not been good. Or they've been entertaining, but they've created a rival in the Ducks, and guys like Kessler, Corey Perry on their team. There's not really too much I like about the Anaheim Ducks, to be honest, anymore. Don't really like any of their players too much. Getzlav I don't mind, but yeah, other than that, the Ducks, I feel like we gotta go with it's not a hate. I don't hate them. I think they're in the dislike for me. All right, Arizona Coyotes, they've got a lot of players that have played for the Hawks in the past. So, there's a relationship there. They're a young up-and-coming team. They're fairly interesting to watch, and they almost made the playoffs. My boy John Wayne, NHL 19 pro player, he's a big Arizona fan, and if a guy like that can cheer for a team, then, there must not be too much wrong with them, So I don't really like them, but you know what? Arizona Coyotes, you guys are cool. Okay, this one should be an easy one. I'm a Leafs fan. The Bruins, I don't know how they do it. They just keep doing it in Game 7 to us, and my opinions on that will be for another video or Instagram stories, or just bottle them up inside and forget about it until it happens next year. So the Boston Bruins, great team, but I have to, from the bottom of my heart, despise you. All right, Buffalo Sabres. You know what? I'm a big fan of Jack Eichel and a lot of their players. Casey Middlestat, Reinhart, Rasmus Dahlin. He had a great year. So you know what? The team overall, I don't mind. I've been disappointed with how they've played. I feel like they've been underachieving for the past few years, and I'm just waiting for them to break out. I think they're in the same boat as like the Arizona Coyotes for me. A young up-and-coming team. I like most of their players. So you know what? Buffalo Sabres, you guys are cool. Calgary Flames. I think, you know what? I don't really have too much to say. Johnny Hockey, I like. Mike Smith had a great playoff. Couldn't do it when it mattered. Couldn't steal those games, and they lost to Colorado, who just manhandled them pretty much, Nathan McKinnon. So I don't dislike the Flames, don't like them either. They're meh. Carolina Hurricanes. Now, it's been fun watching them. Actually, last night I watched the Game 7 when they beat the Washington Capitals. So, I like Andrei Svechnikov. I like some of the young players, Teuvo Teravainen, Sebastian Aho, all great players. There's nothing, again, nothing I can say. They're cool. I don't really follow them too closely. I don't dislike them, so they'll go with Calgary. Same relationship. Meh. All right, Chicago Blackhawks. Right up here, my favorite team. I've been following them since the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. Johnny Taves, my favorite player right here. Patty Kane as well, had an unreal season. Disappointing past few years. Got swept by Nashville in the past couple years, haven't made the playoffs. Saved me from some heartbreak, though. The Leafs have been taking a toll on my emotional status in these last few playoff runs. The Hawks have at least put themselves out of misery so that I don't have to suffer for them and while watching them in the playoffs, So Chicago Blackhawks, been my favorite team for a while, will continue to be my favorite team for the foreseeable future. So there they are. Now, Colorado Avalanche, you know what? I think I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, they had a great start to the season, and they kind of tailed off. And the Avalanche have been top team of mine for a while, from the Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg days, two of my favorite players all time. So I love watching them in the early 2000s, and I still love watching them now. McKinnon, he's becoming one of my favorite players. Got his jersey right here. So you know what? They're not my favorite team, but I'm really, really liking the Avs now. All right, Columbus, I'm another team whose bandwagon I'm jumping on. I don't really like them. Nashville, I'm sorry. They're your team. I like you, buddy, but your team, I mean, there's just something about them. The playoff run, they are becoming a likable bunch. I'll give you that, but I don't really like them just yet. I'm hopping on the bandwagon, and I'm going to watch them for the rest of their playoff run. So you know what? The Columbus Blue Jackets, they're cool. Dallas Stars, you know what? I like Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, that front core with Zuccarello up front. Heiskanen has been awesome. Bishop in net. I used to love watching Mike Modano, but the Stars haven't been a team that I've really followed too closely. But they've been really fun to watch this year, so you know what? They're cool. Now, Detroit Red Wings, this one's tough. They've had rivalries with both Toronto and Chicago, my two favorite teams, and Colorado up there. So I'm kind of prone to dislike them already, but the players aren't really dislike. I mean, they've had Pavel Datsyuk, Henrik Zetterberg, Nick Lidstrom, one of my favorite all-time players. So yeah, I'm conflicted here when making this decision, but you know what? I think I gotta put them right now in the meh column. All right, Edmonton Oilers. Not much to say about these guys, man. Connor McDavid. I feel bad for the kid. Taylor Hall, he must be so happy he jumped off that ship just because of the way their team's been managed and everything else. You know what? I got to put them in the dislike column. Florida Panthers, I mean, their whole team's kind of vanilla, to be honest. Just missed out on the playoffs, and none of their players really do anything for me. So they gave away Marchessault. Yeah, that kind of stealed their fate right there. Bobby Lou in net. That's their shining point, I think, but he's probably going to retire soon. Nah. LA Kings, with the rivalry with the Hawks in the playoffs a few years ago. They're getting what they deserve now, same as the Hawks. They're struggling after years of success, and because of their rivalry with the Hawks, I just learned to hate them. Minnesota Wild. Now, this one is tricky. I know I said in a past video that I hated the Minnesota Wild, and they were my least favorite team just because how much and how often they play the Hawks in the playoffs, and just their players. They have so many Americans. As a Canadian, you know, you just don't want to see those American players succeed. It's the country rivalry and the team rivalry there for Minnesota for me. But you know what? I made a true friend staying at the House of Chell. Your boy, JT Brown, signed this puck for me. And I also got another one when I was at their esports event. Devin Dubnyk and I think Victor Rask signed that one. So you know what? They've kind of buttered me up a little bit here. So I don't hate them anymore. I still dislike them, but they're not a hate or despise for me. Montreal, you would think as a Toronto fan that is an automatic despise, but you know what? My dad, my old man, he is a Montreal Canadiens fan, and you know what? Whenever he watches hockey, he's so passionate about watching them that I kind of get into it too. So Montreal, they're not a dislike. I think they're kind of just a meh for me. Nashville Predators, again, you know what? I kind of like the players on their team. Roman Josi as a defenseman, you know, I kind of focus on the defenseman, but the forwards obviously have a really solid core too. But some of the players, Ryan Johansson, do not like that guy. And I don't like the fact that they swept the Chicago Blackhawks and kind of the nail in the coffin on their playoff hopes these past couple years. So they're going in the hate column. New Jersey, don't really follow them. Taylor Hall, I kind of watched them in their playoff run with Parise and Kovalchuk back in the day. Don't dislike them. Don't follow them too closely. They're meh. New York Islanders, you know what? Being a Toronto fan is kind of awkward because I should probably be rooting against them, just how they've treated John Tavares. But you know what? The Isles, I actually like watching them play. Matty Barzal, I met him at Adidas. He's a cool dude. So you know what? I'm cool with the Islanders. Rangers, the only reason why I won't put the Rangers in the bottom half of this is because of Henrik Lundqvist. Otherwise, they'd easily be at least a dislike. Henrik Lundqvist, you know what? I'm rooting for you, man. I hope you get a cup at some point in your career. You deserve it. But to me, overall, your team's meh. All right, Ottawa Senators. As a Toronto fan, growing up as one in the Alfredson days, god damn, I hated the Ottawa Senators, man. They're my least favorite team. Erik Karlsson kind of made me like them a little bit more. I love watching him play, but now they traded him, and then the entire organization's a complete dumpster fire. So I don't really like them as a team anymore. There's nothing to like about them. Traded away Mark Stone, traded away Mike Hoffman, Matt Duchene. Probably couldn't name 5 people on their team right now. Yeah, I just hate them. Flyers, man. Again, you'll see me rank teams that the Hawks have played in the Stanley Cup Finals. It seems pretty low. I mean, Claude Giroux, I'm a fan of. Voracek, yeah, they traded away Wayne Simmons. The rest of their team, I mean, Konechny's a great player. Carter Hart has a great story this year in the NHL, but I would say I'm cool with them. I'd say I still have bitterness in that Stanley Cup Final there. I know the Hawks won, but Chris Pronger, man. Mike Richards, dude, I hated those guys, so we're going to put them in the dislikes. Pittsburgh Penguins, again, Sidney Crosby. I mean, I like watching them. They're entertaining. I don't cheer for them, honestly. There's very few teams that I would rather see lose to Pittsburgh in a head-to-head matchup, so I don't hate them, but I definitely dislike them. San Jose Sharks, fun to watch. They got Erik Karlsson. That was one of my favorite players. Joe Pavelski, Logan Couture, Joe Thornton. You really gotta root for these guys. So you know what? I don't really like them, but I think I'm cool with them. The Blues, oh my God, they're another one of those teams that just played against the Hawks so many years, and I've learned to hate so many of their players. Good luck the rest of the way in the Stanley Cup, but boy, do I despise these St. Louis Blues. All right, Tampa Bay Lightning. You know what? It was actually kind of painful to watch them get swept by the Lightning this year, because I'm a big fan of a lot of their players. Victor Hedman, Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, like all those guys, such great players. And you hate to see it. I hate to see it because I really like the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, Toronto Maple Leafs. You've heard me. Bada bing, bada boom. Born and raised in Toronto. They're another one of my favorite teams. I got a team from the East, team from the West. I mean, Chicago's my favorite, but it was effing heartbreaking to see the Leafs get bounced by the Bruins once again. So, you know what? At least this will make me feel a little bit better seeing the Leafs on top, Bruins at the bottom. The Canucks, I mean, you know what? If this was like 3-4 years ago, easy despised tier right here. But they moved up in the world. They moved on. The rivalry from the Hawks kind of fizzled, and their team has become cooler. Besser, Horvat, Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, all those young guys who I think, you know what, make me pretty cool with the Canucks now. Vegas Golden Knights. After last year's playoff run and this year, I don't know what it is, but I just feel kind of bitter seeing them succeed. And I don't know, I know that's petty, but like a team that just came into the league who got so much of an advantage in that expansion draft. Now, I mean, they make it to the Stanley Cup Final in their first year, and it was pretty damn satisfying to see them eliminated by the Sharks with Joe Thornton, who I think deserve it. And I know about the penalty call and all that. We won't talk about that. Bottom line, you don't give up 4 goals on a 5-minute power play. You know what? I definitely dislike the Vegas Golden Knights. Washington Capitals. I've been a fan of Ovechkin, one of my favorite players all time. The best goal scorer in the NHL. I don't care if he doesn't break Wayne Gretzky's goals record. Best pure goal scorer of all time. I really like him. I really like the Washington Capitals. Last but not least, we got the Winnipeg Jets. And, you know, a new team, they used to have a lot of ex-Hawks. I mean, Dustin Byfuglien's a big name. They used to have Andrew Ladd, who kind of bounced around, and, you know, this and that. They got Patrick Laine now, who's playing Fortnite. But, yeah, you know what? I like the team. I actually had them winning the Cup this year, them against Tampa, and I've been saying that all year, and now look at me. They're both out on the golf course. So, yeah, Winnipeg Jets, I mean, I'm cool with them. But I'm disappointed in how they did, as I'm sure the rest of that city is. All right, so there is my personal NHL team tier list in terms of, you know, how much I like each team and whatnot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and again, use the link in the description, make your own tier, and tweet it at me, and I'll give you my thoughts on your tier. Maybe I'll do these tiers with other hockey concepts, maybe jerseys, maybe players. That'll be tough. Maybe be NHL video games. That's a good one. All right, but until then, I'll see you guys next time.